The reason why you're struggling on defense right now in College Football 26 is probably because you're calling the wrong plays, or worse, you're in the wrong playbook. But don't worry, because by the end of this video, I'm going to solve both those issues with the top 3 defensive playbooks in CFP 26. Let's jump right into it. And before we jump into it, I want to warn you, if you skip out on any of these defensive playbooks, they might not fit your play style and you could be left high and dry. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so first we're going to be in the 3-3-5 playbook. We're going to be breaking down a couple of things that make each of these specific playbooks so dangerous, okay? So with this 3-3-5 playbook, you have formations like nickel 3-3 man, you have dime 2-3 odd, you have a lot of these 3-3-5 formations, but I obviously want to start here in this dime 2-3 odd because this is something that I've talked about before, but I still think it's really good, and we're going to be talking about safety blitzing, so free safety zone blitz, okay? What makes this so dangerous, okay, is if you stand right here over this center and you pass commit your defense, right? Or excuse me, right here over the guard. You're basically trying to move this guard inside so that you can allow your 2 linebacker or your 2 safety and your linebacker to come in free. Okay, so if I get my second controller here, you're gonna see that. Boom, I'm gonna try to move him inside, and there you go. The reason why safety blitzing is even better than maybe just linebacker blitzing is because I move this guard inside. Make sure you're paying attention. 55, okay? I move him inside just a little bit. Boom, like this. Okay, now it's fine because now he recovers, blocks this guy, but then there's another guy flying right through that same gap. It's really just a delayed rush, and yes, you still have to have a good user over the middle depending on what route concept they have called, but just as far as breaking down the blitz, when you can get after the quarterback in a hurry, that changes everything, right? So I mean, it's way better than even sending a 5-man rush, or obviously sending a 4-man rush, but sometimes you can even get pressure only sending 4 with this blitz. But this time I'm gonna have them block their running back, okay? So boom, take it, move this guy inside, and then you're able to see that time we get a shed and we force the running back to have to step up and block one of our guys. So obviously when they add an extra guy into the protection, he's able to a lot of the time do a better job of blocking. But it's all about this right here. It's all about trying to get the attention of this guy. You can see right here, I actually didn't do the greatest job of it, and so that kind of made our blitz a little bit worse. But when you get in here into practice mode, you practice just standing right here over this guy, right? Pass commit your defense, press RB, flick the right stick up, okay? Stand right here, boom, move these guys inside, and then you're able to see you allow one of your safety or your linebacker to come in free. If you want to make it even better, you can stand right over him and then open the D-pad, press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, and you're going to turbo engage with him where boom, you come off, and then like it's going to be a guaranteed pressure. The only risk is that you don't get back into coverage as fast again. But make sure you're spamming A to get off the block as soon as possible, and you're able to see you're in the area. And again, as far as the coverage that you're calling, the route concept that they call, you have to adjust that, but that's just a really good blitz that you can utilize from this 3-5 playbook, the safety blitzing, and it's really just a concept that makes that one of my favorite things to do. But also when we come into nickel 3-3 mint, okay, you come into cover 6, you turn your zone drops off. All right, this is a pretty good coverage defense, and you're just gonna just have a good user, okay? It's not gonna really matter what route concept they have called. You're able to see we're gonna do a good job guarding that slant as it runs across the field. And a lot of the time when you run match coverage, you're gonna get guaranteed lockdown coverage, and you only have to really guard one thing. You see, all I have to really do here is guard this slant across the middle of the field, which I do, and now everyone else is pretty much guarded, okay? And then, so I mean, I'm gonna go through it one more time here, but you can also see if you add a custom stunt onto this defense, so press D-pad left, right trigger, you press, let's see, we're gonna use the, let's see, what do we have? We have the right, yeah, we're just gonna use the left exit 2-man, okay? We're gonna use the left exit 2-man right here. We're gonna shift our D-line left. We're gonna pass commit our defense, okay? And we're just gonna focus on having a good user here. We're trying to get pressure. We see this dig is what we need to guard across the field, and we're able to take everything away, lock down defense, and really just control the pocket. No one's open. They're going to have to just eat this sack right here, and it's going to be pretty easy for you. So this is a really good defensive playbook. If you like safety blitzing, you like utilizing match coverage, this could be the one for you. All right, and that first defensive playbook doesn't even compare to the next two that I have, so make sure you stick around for the rest of the video. All right, next we're gonna be breaking down the 3-4 defensive playbook and what makes it so good. Let me show you. All right, so when we come into this 3-4 defensive playbook, you have formations like 3-4 odd. You have your nickel, again, 3-3 mint, like we just talked about. You have your double mug, you have your single mug, and then again, you have dime 2-3 odd. So some of these formations and playbooks sort of overlap, which is nice because then you can kind of just build your scheme around the stuff that you're already good at. But if we talk about something that I didn't talk about in the last playbook, nickel double mug, okay? I'm not gonna show you the little Sin 6 mid blitz that everyone knows about, right? This is a little bit different. So you're gonna come right here into the, this is the left exit 2-man stunt, okay? And then you can do whatever you want as far as coverage. You know, if you want to just run a cover 2 hard flat, or just a regular cover 2, you could certainly, you know, do that here. But the main thing that you're trying to do is overload blitz them. Okay, so you can see this is a pretty good coverage shell, honestly, right here. You can pretty much just run cover 3 cloud, and that's really what makes mid blitz so dangerous, is you have a lot of versatility, okay? So you're gonna take this guy right here and you're gonna stand right over the center, okay? You're gonna press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, okay? And so then you're going to press A and you're gonna spam A, and then you're just trying to make sure that you, dang, he blocked me pretty well right there. But when you spam A, it helps you get off the block sooner, okay? You're trying to get off this block with number 55 as soon as possible. And honestly, it's not even number 55. You want to get the attention of 74. And that's why that blitz didn't come flying in free right there. So to make it even better, I would move a little bit over. So that's why labbing is important, because it's just the concept of blitzing and how you can blitz well and make it more effective. And it's little stuff like this, okay? So now I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna make sure I get the attention of 74, which I do, which allows for our guy off the edge to come in free right there and force a sack fumble, okay? You have to also understand when you're on defense what formation you're playing against. We're playing against a tight formation right here. This chipping, there's gonna be a lot of this, okay? This is gonna happen a lot with just random bumps and chipping when they're in tight formations. But you can see it really doesn't matter because we're still able to get good pressure right here. You're also able to see this time I actually get the attention of 74, okay? Which allows me to get off the block, I occupy him, and then I'm back into coverage to take away this sit route right here, okay? So it's really just the concept. You're only sending 4 people, but yet, you know, obviously that means that you have more guys in coverage, which is obviously going to make your defense a lot better, okay? I would also always make sure I have my user in a zone assignment so that I can switch stick, but D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, get the attention of 74, and then we have a guy flying in, and he's going to come flying in whether they block the running back or not, just because the blitz is just way too fast, okay? Really, the concept, we allow our guys to play 3-on-2 on the backside of this play, boom, very, very easy stuff. Again, 3 defensive linemen, 2 offensive linemen. We get 1 guy to come in flying in free. So that's mid blitz, a very good defense that we know about, but that's how you can make it better because you're blitzing less people and you're still going to get, you know, that instant pressure on the quarterback, okay? Obviously, like I said, you have 3-3 mint. You also have 3-4 odd, which is also one of my favorite defenses. If we go ahead, come into we're just going to come into a pinch buck O. You can run zone coverage from this, okay? So you're going to shift your D-line to the left right here, okay? Then I'm gonna move that guy up. And again, you're just trying to overload blitz them. So you don't even really need that defender. You can just put him in a curl flat. And again, you don't have to run man coverage, but you stand right here, right over the center. They take the snap, you spam A, and then you're able to get 2 guys to come in free. Boom. And that means obviously if they were to block the running back, you would still come in free with just 1 guy, okay? So again, shift that D-line. You make sure you might have to move this guy back a little bit, but you're gonna shift that D-line, then you're gonna drop him into coverage. You're gonna open the D-pad by pressing it up, right trigger, left stick down, okay? And you're just trying to get the attention of this center, Okay, so boom, take the snap. We get the attention of one of the linemen, and then you're able to see that time, again, 2 guys come in free. So that just means that you're guaranteed to get 1 guy to come in free if they block their running back, okay? And again, the most important thing with these defenses and these blitzes is getting off of this block as soon as possible so you can get back into coverage and still play really good pass defense, okay? So whether you want to run man coverage, you want to run zone coverage from this 3-4 defensive playbook, you're going to be able to because you have overload blitzes from a variety of different looks. And the best part about that 3-4 defense is you can grab my 3-4 defensive ebook at victoryformation.gg. Use code BLT to get 20% off your first month, and I can't wait to see you over there. All right, before we jump into the last and the best defensive playbook, I want to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any of my College Football 26 content. All right, so that last and best defensive playbook is the 4-3 multiple playbook, okay? And perhaps the formation that this one has that a lot of the other ones don't is the combination of 3-3 cub and single mug, okay? And then, I mean, you also have 4-3 even 6-1. So that's what I'll talk about first is 4-3 even 6-1. This is always a super intimidating look for an offense because when they pinch their defensive line and stand right here over the center, okay, now there's 7 guys hoarding the box. Okay, and so, I mean, we haven't even really talked about run defense here, but if they just call like an RPO right here and then try to run the ball right up the middle, you can just see how we're mugging that middle gap, and it's going to be very hard for them to just run the ball inside, okay? But that's not really what I'm even talking about because it's obviously really great against the pass. Right, so if they just go ahead and call a passing play, right, you're going to be sending 7 people or 6 people, and then you're able to get 1 to come in free. Really, it's a similar version of mid blitz. If you really want to think about it like that, where you have 6 guys with the line, they have to pick their poison, you know, of who they want to, you know, block or let come in free. But again, you can also just overload blitz them, okay? Drop that guy into coverage or like drop that guy into a man coverage assignment, okay? Now, really what you can do is you can just turbo engage, right? So boom, again, this time they call a run play, which again, like I just talked about, this is really great run defense. But right here, they're going to be calling a pass, so you can just man up this outside linebacker under the running back, and then you can just put your user in a zone assignment, pinch the defensive line, pass commit, the whole 9, right? Or you could shift that entire defensive line in one direction, right? So now you can think about it, we're going to play 3-on-2 on the back side, as long as we can get the attention of the center, okay? So we're going to turbo engage. Boom, we try to get the attention of the center, and then you're able to see 1 guy comes in free. So it's really just about thinking about how can we, you know, make a lot of these blitzes really good. And it's really just making a couple of critical changes, overloading one side of the offensive line, getting the attention of the center, and then making sure you're getting back into coverage is just going to be really dangerous. So honestly, you can turn any defense into, you know, a good blitz defense when you start to think about stuff conceptually, and that's why obviously you're subscribed to BLT, because I'm going to do that for you. But we come into 4-3 even 6-1 like I just showed you, but really I like 3-3 cub, and you can guess how we're going to get after the quarterback probably, right? We're going to be overload blitzing them, okay? So we're going to drop our linebacker into a zone assignment, or like I said earlier in the video, you can just run zone coverage, right? You can just set up a zone, then you can shift your D-line, you can pass commit your defense, right? So now your coverage looks pretty good if you want to run zone coverage, right? You try to get the attention of this center, okay? And you're just going to let your guys play 3-on-2, just like we always talk about, and then a guy comes in free. Again, always the most important thing and something that gets overlooked is BLT. What am I doing with my user? You're spamming A so that you can get off this block as soon as possible. Luckily for us, we get an instant sack. But if you don't, and you don't get it back into coverage, you leave the middle of the field completely wide open, which is something you obviously don't want to do. Okay, so again, set it up one more time. We're going to stand right here over the center, press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. Okay, and when they go to take the snap, you're going to be able to see we're able to get 1 guy to come in free. Sometimes 2 guys can come in free, but you have to remember you're only sending 4 people, right? And so, you know, getting one guy to come in free here is good enough. I mean, like, the game just breaks and glitches right here, but you're able to see very easy, very quick pressure, and you have a lot of versatility on the back end with your coverage adjustments. So I really like 4-3 multiple playbook because of 3-3 cub and 4-3 even 6-1, two of the best overload blitzing formations in the game. And again, they have all the stuff that I talked about in the rest of the video. 2-3 dime, 2-3 odd, double mug, they have single mug, 3-3 over, right? They have all of this stuff, making them the most complete playbook perhaps in the entire game. All right, now your defense is complete with the best playbooks, but if you're still struggling in offense, check out this video right here where I break down the best offensive playbooks and plays you need to be using. I'll see you over there.